2027 will mark 30 years since the dawn of democracy in South Africa. Parliament says it was not an easy task to transform the institution.
Over the last 30 years of our democracy, we have seen growth and maturity of this important institution of our people. You will recall that this institution was inherited from a colonial and apartheid past, so it represented everything that was evil, brutal, the subjugation, the hardship that the great majority of South Africans had to endure over many centuries of apartheid as well as colonial rule. And to transform such an institution into a fully democratic institution that represents the will of the people, that represents their interest and their aspiration for a better, greater future, it was not an easy one. So the generation that came to Parliament in 1994 had to begin with transforming this institution from its colonial and apartheid past into a fully democratic institution that is open, that is accountable, that holds the executive fully and properly and transparently to account on its service delivery promises.
The National Legislature says one of its achievements was to intensify public participation in the last 3 parliaments.
The 4th and the 5th parliament, as well as the 6th parliament, really it was to ensure that there is a strengthening of the participation of the people of South Africa in the affairs of parliament or decision-making processes of parliament. So through the public participation framework, we sought to ensure that where we have gone wrong in terms of some of the decisions that we have taken on the bills that we have passed, as would have been pronounced by the courts of law, we reflect, we introspect, and we ensure that we improve that process and system of making laws, and to ensure that it is more inclusive and the people are actually meaningfully participating in the decision-making processes of Parliament.
There have been highs and lows over these years. The Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution has touched on some of the highlights.
Up and down experience for Parliament over the last 30 years. I think the early years were certainly the high point of this institution. There was a great sense of excitement in the 90s with the new parliamentarians coming in, transforming this institution in every facet of its functioning, passing critical laws in those early years, and really playing its role as was envisaged, I think, in terms of the Constitution.
Reflected on some of the low points of Parliament.
In more recent times, Parliament has failed in respect of discharging many of its obligations, particularly with regard to holding the executive and organs of state to account, as we saw recounted before the Zondo Commission and incorporated in the report of the Zondo Commission, which really lambasted Parliament for failing to keep its eye on the ball and to do what was right at the time.
But what do the people think of their parliament and the role it played during this period? Some say it has failed the people, while others say more needs to be done.
Parliament, no, there's a clump of idiots, ma'am. I'm born in 92, right? My grandfather was part of the council project. They think they are somebody. They burn the place down because by a lot of people see blacklists and stuff like that. A lot of people on the street, they got their own houses, but they talking about wizards and stuff like that. Some of the people got really, that person got a house in Mr. Springs. I got also a house. And my granny, and my father, and my uncle, and my aunties. But they said they ain't count mine for what? I ain't finished college. I'm a professional I'm a welder. And I can do building structures and land developing also. There's no work for us, but only for them and their own families.
I know Parliament, and I don't think they're doing things right, man. You understand what I mean? Because every time we're working, and for what are we working? You understand? Everything's going sky high prices, and our salary's not going up.
They've done nothing. Nothing.
Why?
Because they corrupt, they don't help our people. They're struggling every day. See the people, they're looking for jobs, they're doing nothing. There's people that want to work, struggling every day. They don't even help the people. Me, I'm also still looking for a job.
There needs to be jobs. People are hungry. Jobs need to be created. And also the economy needs to be fixed.
The number one thing that I'm hoping for with this election is just that the government starts taking care of their people a little bit more and fulfilling their promises.
But it is not all doom and gloom, as some acknowledge the benefits of having a democratic parliament.
As an entrepreneur and in a business that has been previously, white dominated, I believe a lot has been done. Because I'm in real estate, and real estate used to be very wide. And I run my own real estate agency, and slowly we're getting there. So from that perspective, I'm happy so far. 30 years is very young. I believe there's more to come.
Honest opinion as a Cape Townian is that the Parliament has done quite good because they've done all the right. They've been going through a lot of difficulties. There's been a lot of hardships, lots of racialism from the Afrikaans wrong kinds that have been crooking and doing wrong things and blaming all the people. And there's always been like a lot of like the justice, I must be honest, that are so false and wicked, because you know what? They took my money out of the court, 700 million from my mum's death as inheritance. So I believe the Parliament is better than the justice rulers.
The 6th Parliament is drawing to a close. The 7th Parliament is expected to bring a new era, as some independent candidates could make their way to the National Assembly and NCOP if they successfully contest the elections. It will be the first time in the history of democracy that independent candidates will have the right to hold seats in the national and provincial parliaments. Mercedes Besant, SABC News, Parliament.